Hello and welcome to episode 103 of the Take a Pull podcast. And Janie Mac, we're firmly off the bridle this week, Deck, aren't we? This is the third and final podcast at Punchestown Festival. Some might say, thank God, it's over. Others might say, if you're still listening to us, fair play after the week.
I'd say there's people looking at us doing a podcast going, those boys have some pair of balls and
yeah,
they're turning up again.
Yeah, exactly. We're coming with a different approach. This is the first ever episode of Tap Bingo. So Deck on his way home, or maybe courtesy of Leah, possibly, on their way home from the racing, I've bought ourselves a bingo set, and we are going to be selecting our horses with this piece of kit here. So if you're listening on Spotify, Deck is currently holding a little wheel, and it's going to spin it around, and we're going to pull out numbers. And we're going to see if we can beat the bingo set. That's the target. Hopefully we can. If not, we might need to retire.
We've two goals between us, and the bingo set is one goal.
So yeah, the bingo versus tap. This is probably even more unique. Like, we're unique in our own right that we're the only podcast out there that will cover a 0 to 95 at Tremor on a Thursday. But we're also now the only podcast out there that are going to be using the surefire technology of bingo to try and find you guys winners. So see how that goes. But before we get into that, Deck, it's been a great week. Obviously, not financially, but it's been a great week on the track. Obviously headlined by Galopin Des Champs finally winning his Punchestown Gold Cup. Just the 22 lengths that he beat Spillane Tower by. He's remorseless, isn't he? Like, he's a modern day great now. There's no other really words to kind of to put into context now.
Oh, he nearly ruined it. He nearly ruined the buzz, because you kind of wanted to see him jump the last alongside someone and battle up the straight and win, but it was never in doubt, was it? Like, there was never the moments where he's just an absolute superstar. And like you boys, he 5 grade 1s behind Cotto Star now. He's only 9 still. Like, I put up a tweet last night asking, like, he's still rated 13 pound inferior at their peak. That was a 22-1 victory. Like, now look, I don't really pay attention to ratings at the highest level, because they're never going to run in a handicap. So that it's more about the handicapper than the horse, really, and it does, I won't say what I said in the tweet last night anyway, but it'd be just interesting to see what he does after a 22 length demolition job. King George.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think he's going to get a career high mark. I think there's been better performances out there. Like, I don't think that was even his best performance of the season. I'd probably have Savills win ahead of that. But like that's the kind of regard we hold him in, though. I think, you're comparing him kind of to the Denman and Cotto Star era, but I suppose the reason that Cotto Star probably achieved those dizzy heights is he beat Denman at Cheltenham, and Denman had ran in handicaps. The handicapper had no choice but to put Denman up, and then if Cotto beats him hands down, and then what are you supposed to do? But I agree. I think he deserves a rating somewhere into the mid 180s at the very minimum, I would have thought. I think we would have got a very much a Leopardstown type of finish. Like, Spillane Tower was creeping into it, hit the 4th last very hard, but I imagine what would have happened was Mark would have shooken up his mount to get onto the coattails of Galopin Des Champs. And like what Galopin does at Leopardstown, he looks like he's going to give you a chance, and then he just kind of runs away. So I'd imagine that's what would have happened. I don't think Spillane Tower has lost a lot in defeat. Jimmy Mangan was interviewed and basically said they never got a fair crack at it this year with the ground, which is kind of fair enough. But he's 7 rise and 8. Wouldn't rule him out, not by any stretch of the imagination. They'll probably go down the Galopin route next year. And I don't think he'll beat him at Leopardstown, but if they train him for the Gold Cup, I'll be interested now. And the novices, Deck, I don't know if any novices are going to get into it next year. I suppose a horse that I kind of gave abuse to earlier in the season was Impere Pass, but is he possibly the most interesting one now next year going chasing? Or maybe Lecky Watson?
Well, I still like Lecky Watson.
Yeah.
But you are kind of struggling after that.
Yeah, absolutely. What do you think of Majra? As we were recording here on Thursday evening, what did you think of Majra today? Like, jumped like a freak, but it didn't matter
He's
really.
an absolute weirdo.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's obviously a freak. Like, he battered them today. Like, he
He
runs
did. Yeah, he
so well.
murdered him.
Like, Jesus, how good is he? He was running down his fences, going, you know, he nearly ended up wider than David Maxwell on the bumper horse. You know, like but Jesus, he just ran away from them. Like, that was, I was so impressive. But then, like, your heart's in your mouth with him. You know, his jumping needs to brush up. Hopefully it does, but I'm not sure. You know, maybe he needs the man who retired today. And, you know, obviously,
Jody
happy
fixed
retirement to the horse psychiatrist.
Jody McGarvey, yeah, legend.
But yeah, look, I don't know. He's you could never be overly confident with him, but I'd say he wins or he falls. He's got to be that sort of horse.
Yeah, well, I'd be a hypocrite to say he wins a lot next year because you know how I feel about 2 mile open chases at that highest level. If you jump like that,
he is quick enough.
He is quick, yeah, but like if something takes him on for the lead, he will fall.
Yeah, but I don't know. He gets to the other side. He hasn't fallen. He didn't fall at Cheltenham.
No,
like he doesn't fall. That's the thing. He didn't fall today. He didn't fall at Cheltenham. He lands. He didn't fall at Leopardstown. He lands running. Apart from Cheltenham,
he does.
You know, but he's still only beating the length. Is he like? Could he be a Moscow Flyer type?
That's what you'd be hoping, but like El Fabiolo did this a little bit as a novice as well, and his jumping is only gone.
No, El Fabiolo was never that quick.
Never. No, he wasn't. He wasn't. No, he wasn't. Like Majbra's a quick horse, absolutely, but he could be too quick for his own good in a way. The way he hits his obstacles, like when he goes up against a better caliber of opposition next year, and those more assured jumpers. Like, I know they're not grade 1 horses, but you need to be accurate going up against the likes of your Quilixioses and your, you know, Found a 50, Solness, Marine National. Like, they're all, you know.
But he's only 5.
Yeah, there's time. He's
only 5. Like, but he'll be exciting. He will. He'll get people talking. Chaser type, like, you know, which we don't see much of anymore. Like,
absolutely.
I hope he, like, even if he keeps jumping like that, I hope he never falls, because you wouldn't want to see him go back hurdling. You want to see him, like, he could be so exciting because he just lands and he's running and he's going away from them still. Like,
you'd have your heart in your mouth if he fell now. But the way he, like, I wouldn't say he's the type of horse now. I don't know if it'd end well if he fell. I hopefully say that touching it.
He's very athletic though. He's able to get his legs out and running. Like, he's, you know, like he probably should have fallen, but he's so athletic that he hasn't, and he's won 2 grade 1 novice chases without jumping.
Yeah, well, what price is he for the champion chase now? Just out of, because that's the only race that there'd be a market for, but. Like, I know it wouldn't be your cup of tea nor mine, but I'm sure people would be indulging in the market. I'll just pull it up if I can really quickly. I don't know if it let's see. I'll just grab there. I just don't know. I'd be worried now if he took on a more experienced rival. I'm just at Tuesday. Arkle, no, Wednesday. Here we go. Champion chase. He's 8-1. Okay, Sergino 7-2 favorite. Right, he's only ran once over fences though, isn't he? So,
is he alive?
Hopefully, yeah. Like Marine National, like he's like even like he has to be the standard setter. You'd have thought 6-1. Ilete Tomp, like he absolutely hates the Cotswolds. And then you've Khalif de Berle. He's the one that excites me the most because he doesn't quite have the talent of Majra, but he is so accurate, and like he's the one, in my opinion, out of all the horse I've seen. I haven't seen enough of Sergino. I'm going to wait until I see him again. And I know we're going off topic here, but he's the one that he's just picture perfect, accurate over his fences ever since he tipped up at Carlisle, didn't he? I think. But since then he's just been razor sharp. He'd be the one I'd be kind of looking forward to the most next year. And then just one last thing, but Sean Hanlon, who put up on Twitter, you were talking about the bumper there a minute ago. I just have to give him a shout out because that I put up a tweet asking someone to put the Fast and Furious music over David Maxwell. Nearly ended up in the on the shuttle bus back to Nice, but on his mount in the bumper and with Paul Walker and Vin Diesel. I can't even remember the name of the song, but if anyone's seen the Fast and Furious franchise, Sean Hanlon's done a great job of that, so you'd see it on Twitter. Anyway, Deck, is it time to play bingo?
Oh, we've 2 days to cover, so we better get a move.
2 days of playing a bit of bingo. Right, so the 340, the Stanley Asphalt Hunters Chase for the Bishop's Court Cup. This famously is a race that Willie Mullins has not won, probably because he's not able to win it because he's not from Kildare. So anyone that wins this, I suppose, has the can brag that they've won a race that Willie Mullins has never won before. This look, there's not much to choose from here, Deck. We've 14 runners. Of course you do. It's good that the enthusiasm isn't tempered anyway. I pretty much had this possibly between the top two, Asphalt Cowboy and Fountain House. I do know that Eyes Off Annie has a decent chance there down towards the bottom two. I was probably with the favourite Fountain House first time tongue tie. Beat Asphalt Cowboy, I think, last time out as well. Who's your fancy here, Deck?
Yeah, well, Fountain House is he's always got a big mention later on the season. On top when we were covering one of the Hunter Chases, he did beat Asphalt. He did beat Asphalt Cowboy. And I just begin to wonder: is the sponsor's name? Is this a tip in itself? Is it? No. He did beat Asphalt. Yeah, Asphalt Cowboy at Torless. Asphalt Cowboy was staying on late at Downpatrick over 2 miles 7. Like, you think to step up. Oh, it's not. It's this 2 mile 5, isn't it?
Yeah, it's 2 mile. Well, just 2 mile 4.5. Yeah, 2 mile 5. Yeah.
But the saddle had slipped that day, so probably upgrade that performance. You would think he has a chance, but I really like Eyes Off Annie here. She beat a horse who had won twice at Cork, and it was comfortable enough. She was impressive, and a horse she was second at Oldcastle has ran in a bumper since. It's probably gone down the bumper route anyway, running on the race course, so might be a better class of horse. I fancy her here now. My confidence is we just have to keep going.
Just keep going. Well, what's your little machine saying there?
Many numbers we got.
We've got 14. I can hear you spinning.
All right,
spinning it away there. Quick, I'll try and make a case. Are you first or boy?
What? I'm going with Eyes Off Annie. So
okay.
Right. Do you want to know what the bingo machine fancies?
Yeah, what's the bingo machine on?
Number 14.
Right, Kinnegan last for the bingo machine, 66 to 1. An 11-year-old mare, you don't see many of them, pulled up last twice in the point field. The bingo machine must be feeling gutsy. It does have a little bit of form around the point-to-point track at Punchestown. Beaten 74 lengths by Relegate on our first ever start years and years and years ago. So yeah, I think
who won the champion bumper,
the very same. Yeah.
I spoke to Lee Shanahan on Tuesday about this horse.
Right.
That's
all it was. I just spoke. I was waiting to give something else.
He just said he had a ride in the race on this horse.
Okay. Right. Right. So the bingo machine on Kinnegan last there. Right, Deck, onto the 4:15 then, and we stick with the amateurs. It's the
I'm
event.
confident here as well.
I'm pretty confident here too. So the event power champion Hunters Chase. I think this is for export. I quite like Vero Flay for Olivia Nichols. She rides and trains. She beat a nice enough, or she was the horse was second to a nice enough sort of Barton Snow at Stratford on the 10th of March. Barton Snow is trained by, I think it's Joe O'Shea. I think, can't remember. Actually, he's the main pointer. He's won the Aintree Fox Hunters a few times. Won it this year actually, with Grosses de Bam. That horse actually runs at Cheltenham on Friday. If anyone's inclined, 5-4 to win the opener, the 4:35. He probably will. Barton Snow. But I thought Vero Flay was quite impressive on his next start. Done no wrong and beating Captain Tommy. He was 34 lengths, no less that day. He made all the running and basically won as he liked. Olivia Nichols obviously keeping the ride. They're probably going to try and go from the front. They are stepping back up to 3 miles. I don't think it's going to be a problem. Very, very unexposed, and I think he has a great chance here. Probably been specifically trained for the race. Deck, who do you like?
Look, I'd imagine Big Interest is going to be likely open up favourite anyway. He won at Fairyhouse last week, but he was third to Milan Fort at Down Royal, and Carfanock beat Milan Fort at Torella, and he beat the second that day again at Corkstown. He was sixth at Cheltenham. I think Carfanock is a good thing here. My Friday is off to a flyer with the Hunter Chases.
So Carfanock is a 9-1 poke at the moment, 6th in the Cheltenham Fox Hunters. Was a good run that. It's on the line, is most likely going to be your favourite. Deck. He's trading around 13-8, 6-4, around that. I wouldn't rule out On the Ropes either, who seems to just get detached and behind in his races at his kind of older age. If he could just stay onto the back of them, there'd be nothing coming home better than him. Like, he was staying on well behind Roy Hill at Naas. He stayed on from a long, long way back at Cheltenham. He was 8th in the Fox Hunters there. And then he just kind of lobbed around mid-div, never really did anything else at Aintree. If he can latch onto the back of these, he could come home quite well. But I can see where you're coming from with Carfanock. I'm going to go for the new kid on the block, Vero Flay. I think he could do a little related double there with Vero Flay and the horse that beat him at Stratford, Barton Snow, if anybody does want to back him in the opener at Cheltenham on Friday. Who's the machine on deck?
The machine. Number 7.
Number 7 for Tat Bingo. Hollow Games, 14-1 poke. The machine is not messing around. 2 double-figure pokes to open up proceedings. Right, the 450 is next. Is the Hanlon Concrete Irish EBF Glencarrig Lady Francis Flood Mare's Chase. That is a mouthful. Dino Blue back over her 2.5 miles, which she stayed so well at Cheltenham. I don't know if she'd have beaten Allegory Devassi. I think Allegory Devassi might have been fighting back, possibly. I don't think it was absolutely definitive.
Have we not decided that the Dr. Dino mares stay well?
Every mare needs 2.5 miles apparently. As every championship mares race is over 2.5 miles.
Unless they're novices.
Unless they're novices, then they can get away with 2. Yeah. Bride's Hill has first time cheek pieces on in a race that she was so impressive in last year. I feel like Gavin Cromwell's horses might be a little bit over the top given the way they've been running this week. Maybe that's a bit unfair, but there's been a few examples now. Obviously 6.5 getting beat today. I thought Midnight It Is was a little bit flat today as well. But there's still more opportunities, I suppose. It's hard
I thought Midnight It Is travelled into it and then just couldn't pick up on the ground.
Yeah, you could you could give him a chance over 2.5 miles maybe as well. Lovely horse. He had a great season. Probably a little bit unlucky not to win more than he did. He obviously won that race at Navan, but probably could have done a bit more. I've no real interest in this race, Deck. I think Bride's Hill is a fair each way price to beat one of the front 2. Even though I've just said Gavin Cromwell's horses might be a little bit over the top, but Bride's Hill won this race last year and she loves good ground. It can't be quick enough for her. So I think she'd have an all right chance of maybe getting in the frame, beating one of the top two. Who do you like here?
Yeah, sorry, it was actually only by night I meant that travelled into and just didn't pick up on the ground.
All right, okay, all right.
I'm not sure how midnight it is, ran.
Bit flat, yeah.
Bit flat. Look, I think if they're all fitting well and run their races, Dino Blue wins this. I think she's just better than Ollie. She does have to give weight away, but the rest of them still have plenty to find with her. And could she run in the grade ones against the geldings? When like the rest of these are strictly staying to mares races. I think Dino Blue is better than that. And while it's not exciting, and she's not a backable price for me, she'd be hard to turn over. Like, I see where you're coming from with Bride's Hill. I thought, like, I was looking at, she could be anything, but she's not getting enough weight, really. 6 pound, I think, to make up the distance she was beating at Cheltenham. So I just think Dino Blue is going to be hard to beat. But sure, I'm the hunter chase king anyway, so what would I know about this?
What does the machine know about this race? You might be taking a minute because you've 24 balls in there or something.
Now.
You're only between 1 and 6, so get spinning.
Machine be under pressure here now. Yeah, could he? Oh,
he must be really confident if it 1 to 6.
Right, it's annoying, but we call it a 6.
Okay. Right, so must be obeyed in first time cheek pieces for Tom Gibney and Dara O'Keefe for the bingo machine. Yeah, the machine, it's all over the first time headgear. There's a rhyme to its reason. Right, it's good to have a special guest on with us. Been getting into a habit of getting good special guests on, whether it's an inanimate object or general managers or representatives of race courses. We have a good array of guests, original games. The Quinbet Novice Handicap Chase is next, over 2.5 miles. One of my favourite races of the week. And I always try and find a winner of it. I always try to specifically find a winner of it, but I could give 6 or 7 a chance in it. Your favourite at the moment, Deck, by the looks, as I scroll through as quick as I can, it looks like it's Nara, around 6 to 1. Theatre Native, depending on where you look, Nara and Theatre Native. Theatre Native was one we gave a shout out to earlier in the season when she was second to Spring to Lamar. We said that, I think that was a 0 to 120 bracket on that race, and we said those two were likely a lot better than that grade. Turns out they have been a lot better than that grade. And this race tends to go to a horse near the top of the weights, usually a very classy novice. Blizzard of Oz is one we gave a shout out to earlier in the season as well, in here at 7 to 1. Although with that said, I am going towards the bottom of the weights. I'll give my selection in a moment, Deck, but who's your fancy?
Just on Theatre Native, she would have become a lot of interest and had a lot of her own run well today. I think she finished downfield. Don't remember her getting a mention. And that, do you know what? One of the hardest things about this week is I haven't even got to run for me money most of the time. My horse hasn't even got mentioned. I'm just giving money to the bookies. And you turn in with a half a chance. You're like, sure, look. Jeez, I'll be excited there for a minute. I'm not even hearing the horse I back mentioned, so not sure where she finished. So that's what's going to be cold on Theatre Native. I was actually waiting to see how a lot of her own ran before I gave an opinion on her. Pat DeRue, he was dropped 1 pound for Fairy House, beaten into 4th, 6 lengths. He's going to like the ground. He's famous for having the fastest final furlong.
Yeah, exactly. He's the current holder, the Aston Martin fastest final furlong at the Cheltenham.
Yeah,
whatever that was. Yeah, because he got to run over a 2 mile chase in October when the ground is like a road.
Well, look, it's going to be quick enough for him here. Sir Argus, he's beaten 5 lengths off 128 over hurdles in April 23 here. He's not run much since, probably, just the injuries got in the way and probably never got to see the best of him. But Zenta Andy, she's going to get the money from that week back for us. I think she just didn't pick it up on the ground. I think she was coming to win that race, but with the soft ground, she just wasn't picking up. She'll pick up on it tomorrow now. She's left on the same mark. She was third in the Liffey hurdle off 138 over hurdles last year. She's £2 higher over fences, only a 6-year-old. Yeah, I'm as confident, if not more confident, as I was last week.
I think there was other stuff at play that day, to be honest with you. There was a bit of weaving and
if there was, even better.
Yeah, it went from 6 to 5 to 15 to 8 as the tapes went up, and then there was a bit of, it looked like Mark Walsh was coming home after about 10 points from the local, weaving his way between down the sidewalk and down the very straight.
Maybe he said, look, the ground's gone, it might be risky.
Yeah.
Well, gee, you do that thing you do.
Yeah, do it, yeah.
And even better. Oh, you know what? Have more on.
Right, a few that I'd give a chance to. Zenta definitely makes my short list. Aidan Kelly taking off 5 as well. It's huge. I do like Blizzard of Oz, but I just was a little soured by his last run. Look, you could see, I wouldn't be surprised, and it's funny to see Jody McGarvey jocked up on him. Obviously, there's going to be a jockey change here, but I could see nearly an almighty gamble on no flies on him. He's off 120. He's off 126. I think he's, or 128. I think he's now rated 126. I think he might have got dropped. I can't remember. But I could see a big gamble on him if, with the ground coming the way it is. Listener Fortune, a quite interesting one too. But the one I'm going to go with is Black Bamboo for John Murphy. He's around a 16 or 20 to 1 shot at the moment. And look, I don't think he's £7. I don't think he's a £7 worse chaser than he is a hurdler. He's in here off 123. He's a 130 rated hurdler. He was third in the novice auction, or the auction final at Punchestown Festival last year. Was beaten 4 lengths by Back to Normal, 2 lengths down to, or maybe 3 lengths down to Answer to Cafe, and he actually had Blizzard of Oz behind him in 4th that day. Danny Gilligan was taking a bit of weight off, so there is a little bit of a swing there, but he's in here off 123. Blizzard of Oz is in here off 141. I don't think the jumping of fences is the difference between that, to be brutally honest with you. I think the ground has came in its favour. First time cheek pieces go on as well. Based on his run behind Golden Joy at Leopardstown at the start of March, where he ran as if he kind of would appreciate this trip. It was 2 mile 1. He was beaten about 6 lengths. Lisnagar Fortune was ahead of him that day. They're kind of closely matched on their form there that day. But I just think I'm going to go with the one with the bigger price. I think Black Bamboo is a huge price, and I could see him very much outrunning it. So I'm going to go with him, and I'd be definitely having a nice each way betting him. And he's one you've liked in the past, Tech. Sorry, yeah, I think he'd prefer better ground. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So I'm going to have a little pop of him each way. Hopefully the machine agrees with me now in a minute.
Oh, sorry,
we've got this could be a long podcast now where we get 3 opinions in. 20 runners here.
Oh, Jesus. Right, not that one.
20 is a higher one, was it?
22. Right, number 20.
Number 20, the bottom weight again. He's loving the bottom weights. Listen Till I Tell You is for the bingo machine. Gavin Bruder taking off 3. Thomas Gibney horse again for the machine. He's following the Gibney yard closely. This horse is a pound wrong and was beaten by Hillsdale with 6 lengths the last day of Ferryhouse. It was only last week. A few jumping issues in there again, but look.
I'm doing this Bolivian because if you think Dylan Phelan got done over now, this thing would be worth about $1 billion.
It's coming. Look, he's not without a chance based on his third to If I Were a Rich Man at the start of December at this track. But he is a 9-year-old, so I don't know what he's holding there and up in class. But interesting from the bingo machine. 605 deck is the Alana Holmes Champion Novice Hurdle. It's grade 1 over 2.5 miles. This race is fairly stacked. 9 runners. You've got the Yellow Clay and Final Demand renewing their rivalry. I've been really soured on the Nathaniel Lacey form that I pretty much only going to apply it to horses now going 3 miles. they've obviously kept final demand to this trip. Now, the only thing that you can really say is Willie Mullins is a sicko. So if he was to, reverse the form with the yellow clay, you wouldn't be surprised. But on all known form there, I wouldn't think the yellow clay should be losing out to final demand. Not at this trip anyway. And then you're gonna have to restrain me from trying to back Lovely Hurling for Colin Murphy. I'm done with that yard now for the foreseeable. Who do you like here, Dak?
I really like Funny. I actually really like him. He was. Right. I know he was only 9th in the shit supreme, but he was a maiden winner before that. He's much better at entry, and I just think that supreme he can just throw it in the bin, even if the horses turn out to be top class. It's just
what you could say though about this though, Dak, is at least he's Finucala's gone to a different trip and is racing different horses. So he wasn't reversing form. That's probably some of the more reliable supreme form as a result. But
but look, he was much better at entries. Toured behind Honesty Policy. Honesty Policy ran a fine race on Wednesday. Second, yeah. Beaten by the Albert Bartlett winner. Clearly a horse with a big machine, Jasmine DeVoe, or a big engine.
Big machine.
Have the machine on the brain here. No, I really, really like Funicula. Mr. Percy, if his jumping was to improve an awful lot, I think he'd have a right chance here. Now, we won the Grade 2 at Fairyhouse, but he still didn't jump great. Only a 5-year-old. Two of them are only 5, I think. I couldn't be confident that Mr. Percy until his jumping improves. But no, I'm bullish enough now about Funicula.
Okay, all right. So, I'm just looking through the lovely hurling form now. I'm trying to not talk myself into it, but the second Auto Portrait's won, Jump Alana's won twice, Promontory's won. And then obviously Card Counter fell that day, and I think Lovely Hurling was actually hampered by him. And Lovely, I'd say he's a really nice horse, but for all we know, he's been on the Bachelor's Banes there ever for the 83 days in the interim, so you just don't know. It's hard to know. I shouldn't have said that anyway. I'm gonna go with the favourite. I'm not gonna be much fun here. I think the yellow play is the one they all have to beat, and is the one. Yeah, I think he's a great chance. Bingo machine deck, 9 runners.
Many numbers. We got new houses. We got
1 and 9.
Oh, number 3.
No, number 3. I must really fancy this. Is the Give Me horse? Is it? Oh, it's Final Demand. Journey Mac.
Oh, no messing.
I'm gonna get mugged off by the bingo machine. I know I am.
No messing from the machine here.
Yeah, the Punchestown Champion Hurdle is next. Fantastic race. This race of the week probably. 6 going to field. Deck, you're gonna finally get an anti-post run for your money with Bottler Secret. I see him here. Aidan Melia now trains. Danny Gilligan taking the ride. There's gonna be if there could ever be a horse in less love with the ground, it's going to be him. Constitution Hill flirting with even money. State Man.
What price is State Man? Because
6 to 4.
Okay. I back State Man anti-post for this 7 to 4 because I thought nothing to turn up, and turns out it's probably the deepest Punchestown Champion Hurdle ever.
It's good, isn't it?
I thought nothing to turn up. The Constitution is not going to turn up. It's an absolute cracker. Like you've the Champion Hurdle winner in here, Golden Ace. But I would have backed her in the Champion Hurdle, Kaggies.
You said that, yeah.
I was talking her up for it since the end of last season. She was only finding Majra and Sergino too good for last season in her juvenile campaign. Sergino's anti-post favourite for the Queen Mother. Majra, the weirdo won like a freak today, without jumping.
The weirdo won like a freak. Away with words.
We spoke about last year's juveniles a lot. Arguably the greatest crop we've ever seen. I know she was beaten on her comeback run, but she moved the element. She entitled to that, like, you know. I don't know if there was an official reason for that, but we go with the Moody Alvin anyway. But like, she's absolutely hacked up in the county, as she should have, you know. She's way too big a price. I think she's the fly in the ointment here. She's going to ruin it. For as much as I want to see State Man put it to Constitution Hill and beat him and prove, like, you know, I am a champion hurdle winner. Should have happened too, but we couldn't get over the last. I think Hagee's going to win this. I'm.
Don't say you're confident.
I would have backed her in the champion hurdle. How can I not back her here?
Yeah, fair enough. Golden Ace and Break My Soul complete the field. It'd be great. Like, fair play for both connections for having a go. Yeah, and Jeremy Scott, why not? They're playing with house money. It's mad to see a champion hurdler only rated 152, even after just winning the champion hurdle. I know there was carnage in the interim, but like, yeah, it's great to see her over. Hopefully she runs well for them. I've no real opinion.
But you know who does have an opinion? A strong one.
A strong one. I've got to say, I think Constitution Hill under James Bowen. I think James gets it done on Constitution Hill. I do. But anyway, what does the bingo machine think?
Yeah, I kind of don't care who wins. Like, if Constitution Hill wins, it's great. I'd love State Man to stick it to him, because you know how I feel about State Man years. Like, you know.
Yeah.
Financially, I want Cargeese to win it. Like, if Golden Ace won it, it'd be brilliant. If Break My Soul won it, it'd be amazing. You know, absolutely delighted for the end. And who's the other horse in the race?
You said Golden Ace, Break My Soul, Constitutional Baller Secret.
Oh, jeez. I'd be bullying if he won. Right. But anyway, enough of that. Enough of our nonsense. Let's get to it. Let's get to the.
You're going to be spinning here for a while. There's only 6 runners. You were lucky we didn't do this for the Irish Gold Cup. Number 4. Janie Mac, that's quick. Break My Soul. He's on Ian Dunhill's. The bing. Oh, stop. Okay, right. The 7th.
He knows which race it is.
He won't even tell me. It won't even tell me the reason. It's just like a 4 win, says the bingo machine, and that's it. I've got to definitely lose to this machine. I know I am. The 710s next. Uniquely Novice Hurdle. Right. This is very open. Looks like it's 3-1 the field. Naturally Nimble is your. Oh, sorry, it's not Runcock. Sorry, is your 15-8 favourite for Willie Mullins and Paul Townend. That's not a favourite I'd be looking to, jump in on. To be brutally honest with you. Yeah, it's Runcock. Sorry, Runcock is the favourite, not Naturally Nimble. I see an interesting one here. Gavin Cromwell has one for Keith Dunhill. It's only 9-1. Dean Charlie never ran before. Only 9-1 shot. Never ran in his life, like not even on the
conditions. A novice hurdle for 4 years old and upwards have not won more than one hurdle race and not finished first, second, or third in grade 1 or grade 2. Great for age race.
Yeah, it's very often a strong race, this as well. Very often, very, very strong now. Like Monbeg Park beat Spillane Tower in this a few years ago, and I think last year was Attaboy Charlie in there too. That was 2 years ago. Yeah, a few years. Like it's a strong race now.
Eagle Fang won it last year. Monbeg Park.
Eagle Fang
won it.
Yeah. No, it's a very, very strong race. Yeah, who do you like, Dak?
Jesus, hang on. Arctic Fire won it. Undersco won it. Arvika Legionnaire won it. Size in Europe won it.
Jesus Christ.
And be a strong race. Look, Naturally Nimble wins the Galway hurdle. Won't be off a yard.
Might need to be, though. He's rated 135, but that won't get you into a Galway hurdle, will it?
Oh, I think that gets you in. Will it? No?
I'd be touch and go, I'd say.
Oh, well, jeez. He might win it then if he needs to.
He might have to go and win it.
He might have to go and win it. Watch where he's lining up. He just struck me as a horse at Aintree that was being lined up lined up or something. Zoffman, he was second to Le Grand Pienter at Navan. Crack was back in Jordan. Crack won on handicap debut at Cork. Probably a nice horse. But the one, Gordon's horse is not running great, but Jupo won to, like, Gordon's horses are actually running like stink. And then Jehupa goes and bolts up on good ground today. Like
well, Rian ran okay as well.
Yeah, but Jehupa, I didn't think he'd run. But I like Castle the lad, 5-year-old. I just forgive the Navan run. But he won on a solo flat start here at Punchestown, and he was second to shuffle the deck and ace last time out. I think he's a very good chance here. And he'd be the one I'd like, unless Naturally Nimble needs to win.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I would have thought, I was interested to see how Fiver Friday would go. I was a little bit disappointed by her at Kelso. Maybe the race came a little bit too soon, which in this case, this race is becoming a little bit too soon. I was expecting maybe a better effort. I don't know what was maybe wrong with her at Kelso. I could see her outrunning her odds. She's around 33-1. But as you said there, Dick, if you think, and I'm basically basing this on what you said, if you think Naturally Nimble's a Galway hurdle horse, I think he's going to be very hard to beat here, because I don't think 135 gets you into the Galway hurdle. It'll win you this race, I'd say. But
do you want to have a look while the machines chat?
We'll see what I'll get the machines thoughts there, yeah, and I'll try and see what the bottom weight in the Galway hurdle.
If you have a look at last year, the Nürburgring, and see what the bottom.
Well, he was in the 140s, so.
The machines having a good think about this one, anyway. He's waiting. The machine's waiting to see.
He's waiting to see
what Mark gets you.
Okay. A penny 100 was 133 last year, as was Facile Mode, so, and Risk Bell. So, Arctic Fly 132. Okay, so yeah, 135. It should get you in. Yeah, it's not an absolute guarantee to get you in, but it would have got you in last year.
How many runners?
You don't even know how many. I was about to. We've got 13. What does the machine think?
12.
I really hope we beat this machine.
12.
Struck Oil. That's a 66-1 poke for Gavin Cromwell. Alex Balfe takes £7 off. Finished midfield on its debut. This is surely here to get a sighter for summer hurdles or handicaps next year. Yeah, look, never better than midfield on debut. I'm actually going to watch that back with a view to maybe watching this horse, because I think the machine's just picked out one that could be a handicap blot for an early tap or tap in the early autumn. So we'll keep an eye on it. The Overlander flat race is next, deck at 7:40. Concludes our Thursday. Anything you like here?
I have no opinion, but I know somebody who does.
Do I now? I know you. I don't have too much of an opinion myself, but who does our friend think? It's great to have opinionated guests on, actually.
It is. 23.
Oh, just a bit. He loves the bottom weight. He loves the bottom ones, doesn't he?
I'm gonna give this a good shake.
Yeah, calcified. 100-1 shot. A mare by Autad, who's 5, who's never ran its life, and it's out of a Galileo mare. So whoever bred this and is saying it's 5-year-old mare running in a bumper. Yeah, that's no chance, I'd say. But look, what do I know? Good for the machine. I think that's the third horse north of 66-1. The bingo machine.
I wonder, has the machine looked at the stats?
Well, I don't know how many Autads you're going to get in a bumper for a start. Might be 1 or 2.
Yeah, you can say you get more than you get over the fence, would you?
You probably would. I'll give a little chance to Bollendenesque for John Murphy. Why not? Might go okay over the 2.5 miles. 5-year-old point winner. So we'll see how that one goes. Maybe they get a big price double on the Friday. Right, Deck. I don't think we came to any agreement there on Thursday, did we?
Not really. Well, I'm confident about a good few now, but
Yeah.
You weren't confident enough to follow me in.
No, unfortunately not. But look, that's okay. We'll move on to Saturday, because we've a whole other day's racing to go. This is turning into a long one. I think it's because our guest keeps chatting.
Yeah, I don't think it. Tad, here we go. Hang on.
You found the stats, have you?
Yeah, Jesus, go way down. Where is he going again? Jesus. Okay. Yeah, he's 1 from 7 at the course. He's had a winner over hurdles.
That's interesting. All right, fair enough. Good old Tad. Anyway, right, on to Saturday then, Deck. The 2:30 is the final Banks race of the week, the Howden Cross Country Chase. A few of these making a return.
I'm even looking up the stats of selections
for a machine. Yeah, so this is like I was nearly going to say I might just get my money back on Stealthy Tom. So even when I was doing things right this week, like we back Stealthy Tom at 6, 7, 8 to 1, goes off favourite on the exchanges, and then decides to just headbutt at the back. I don't even know what the horse was trying. He just slammed on the brakes and just jumped headfirst into the hill, and poor old Simon Torrance went out the front like he was on the M50 and got crashed into something and didn't wear a seatbelt, out the windshield cannon out the front. But hey, no chance, but God love him. The 12 stone 7 probably tempers expectations. James Smith takes the £5 off Cocoa Beach, so it's 12-2 for him. That's an awful lot of weight though to be lugging around. Vital Island ran a blinder, obviously in the Latouche, as did the Goffer, didn't quite stay. Vanillier was another one to headbutt a fence today. It'd be interesting to see if he returns so quickly. Bustleton, who actually did win the races in there too. And then a cross-country legend, a reserve, unfortunately, 3x2. I think there's a chance that she gets a run, even though she's the third reserve. Peaches and Cream, actually, another one who ran well in the Latouche there today for a long, long way. Possibly the experience played a factor there towards the end. Who do you like here, Deck?
Look, I'd have to like Vanillier. He unseated. I think you unseated, or did he fall there? Look, his race ended quite early today, but I think you missed one. You mentioned a lot of horses that ran well, and the Subset was turning in like the winner and didn't go home.
Right, okay.
I actually got a tip for Subset, and I was like, yeah, whatever, won't be Vanillier. And then they were turning it in. I was like, boy, you might have a go on this thing. He just didn't stay, but he's back to 3 miles, and he'd be well worth a punt. I doubt you might have missed him. I doubt the bookies will miss him now.
Yeah, I definitely missed him.
Yeah, like I see conflated in their favourite on the tissues. He was terrified of the Banks in Cheltenham. Or not the Banks, whatever they have over there, cheese wedges and whatnot. But look, I would like Vanillier again. Kate Dunne was not happy. Didn't look one bit happy now when he came off him. So I reckon he really fancied his chances. But the way Subset was travelling back to 3 miles, like if he's in each way price, have a go. Definitely have a go. I don't know whether he's good enough to beat the likes of Stealthy Tom and Vanillier, but I thought he was going to win that race today until he just didn't stay.
Yeah, Read to Return went well for a long way too. Just seemed to possibly outpaced. I don't know how you get outpaced over 4 miles, but that's what it looked like. But look, just on a side note, I think it's brilliant. All these trainers are, starting to run these horses more often in these Banks races. Like Gavin Cromwell's supporting them no end now. Plenty of runners, and Gordon Elliott's done it for a long time. And then you've your Banks legends, your Peter Mahers and your Richie O'Keefe 1-2 this week, and Vital Island running so well in the Latouche, and he'll probably reappear again in this race here. Banks racing's in rude health, and I know I've said it in the last few. I love it. I really do. I think it's a thoroughly enjoyable discipline. I do really, really want to back Stealthy Tom again because he was going so well. I think that I don't like the 12-7. I'll have to make a judgment call on it. He's my tentative selection right now, even off 12-7. Very, very tentative. But I'm very interested to see what our guest thinks, to be honest with you.
Many runners we got.
We've got a field of, well, it's 19, but there's 3 reserves, so 16 definitely going to post.
He's
definitely going to pick 19, isn't he? Absolutely loves the bottom one.
22, I think. Number 10.
No, number 10. Vanillier.
He knows his onions, this fella.
He knows his onions. He either picks the favourite or an absolute complete rag. Interesting. Anyway, oh God, look at this one. Oak Lodge and Landscapes.ie handicap chase is next, 305, and this is over 4 miles. I actually quite fancy one here. I was talking to this about you off air here, Deck. Good to see the return of Duffel. He must be one of the first horse to compete in the National Hunt Chase, English Grand National, Irish Grand National, and now the 4 mile handicap chase at the Punchestown Festival.
He won, and he won the Mayo National.
He did, yeah. Now, with that said, he has not completed any of those engagements. Now, he's very unlucky in the National Hunt Chase to be brought down at the second last, but I think he got as far as the second in the English National, and then he was pulled up on ground way too soft for him in the Irish one. He's one that could go well, but he's a lot of wear and tear on him this season, so he's probably best watched. The one I really like is actually towards the bottom. At 1 pound wrong at the weights is Liz Doyle's Salmonino. First time cheap pieces go on. He's another one with a bit of a postcode for form at the minute. I liked him based on a second to Verdant Place in December at 80 to 1, no less. Was travelling okay when falling in the Amateur National. 9 Graces won that day at Punchestown. He was still there 4 out, pitching away, and he just kind of buckled on landing. The landing gear didn't come out. He sulked a bit when he couldn't get the lead behind Verdant Place at Navan on his next start in February, and then he was lobbing away behind Battle It Out, or up there with Battle It Out at Ferryhouse, and he just unseated his rider. So he is a little bit clumsy, but you're going to be going that little bit slower in this 4 mile chase, and I think Sean O'Keefe has the opportunity here to get him into a rhythm on the front end, and I think he could outrun his very likely huge SP. So I'm going to take a chance on Liz Doyle's Salmonino in his first time cheek pieces here, number 24. So a full field for our guest to choose from. Before we get to that deck, before we get to our guest deck, who do you like?
I like Answer the Cave. Look, it was a demolition job at Nace off 130. He's stepping up and trip by a long, long way. But Johnny Shinnick's gone for the conditional title. I think he needs one. To catch. Is it Tiernan in the lead?
It's probably Tiernan, has to be, doesn't it?
I think he needs one to catch him. And it's his only ride, I think, on Saturday. But look, right. I love Answer the Cave. And I know you said, look, he's a bit busy. He certainly travels, but I'd rather be travelling than snatchy. Like, I'd rather be travelling than not travelling. No matter what it is, like, I mean, you don't only be falling behind the horse giving up. So it's interesting that he's stepping up and that Johnny Shinnick needs one to catch Tiernan, and it's his only ride. So no, I look, he's a 9-year-old. He could have ran in the race on Friday. The listed handicap or whatever it is, like, but they're gone here. I'd say they think it's an easier race to win for Shinnick. So I'd say he's probably, like, is he the best horse in the race? Or he's definitely the best. He's definitely the most talented. And probably the best handicapped horse in the race. It just comes down whether he gets the trip or not. But I don't think he'll have a problem with it.
You would imagine they're confident that they'll get it, because the 4:15 is a 0-150 handicap chase over 3 miles, which probably you would have thought is more suitable. But obviously coming here with the extended trip, so yeah, I know what you're saying. This is probably the easier assignment on paper for sure. Yeah.
But enough of that from us.
Let's get the tots.
Let's get the tots in the machine.
That sounds like that's gone flying. That's out in the back garden. That selection.
How did this come out again? Number 22.
22. That's like the third time 22s came out, is it? That's Mayo. You'll never guess who trains Mayo.
Tom Gibney.
Tom Gibney, the third Thomas Gibney horse. Are you sure? Are you sure? Didn't know we had Tom Gibney on the podcast tonight. Oh, stop! This is like me with Chris Jones horses. This. Anyway, okay. So look, that he's actually not without a chance. In fairness, not without a chance. I'd say that'll go well. Mike O'Connor rides, and I think he's just about in the handicap. Yeah, he's 117 and 117 bottom weight, so he's just about in the handicap. Third Thomas Gibney horse of the night for the bingo machine.
Well, give him the seven.
Fair enough. The 342 is the SBK Irish EBF Mares Champion Hurdle, and you'll never guess what trip this is over, Nick.
It wouldn't be 2.5 miles.
2.5 miles just for every mare. Is this a penalty kick for brighter days ahead? No. Could never really warrant her. Nobody patted me on the back when I said she wouldn't win the Champion Hurdle. No, look, I could never really want her, and I've said that loads of times. And there's a Dr. Dino mare in here who stayed at 2.5 mile really, really well. I don't have a massive opinion on the race, but I think Jade DeGruge is going to put it up to her. 1 to 2, right this head, I think is an awful price. Oh.
But
no lossy amount I've noticed as well.
No lossy amount. And Jade DeGruge, you followed at home.
Yeah.
Got them. So, look, if you're putting a gun to my head and saying you have to have a bet, I'd say Jade DeGruge. I won't be having a bet.
Jade DeGruge went down to a backable price. Like, she's 11 to 4, which it's not bad. Like, Brighter Days Ahead has had a long season. I could talk myself into it. Like, she's been on the go now since Down Royal.
She had a tough champion hurdle.
And she had a very tough champion hurdle, and I could nearly swing myself into it. It's just like she's to find a little over a stone on the book, Jade DeGruge. I suppose it's not beyond the realms of possibility. All that is if she could improve by 6 or 7 pounds, which again she could do, Jade DeGruge, and then Brighter Days Ahead maybe doesn't run up to her rating. Stranger things have happened. Just before we get on to our guest deck, Lossy Mount or Brighter Days Ahead in a match over this trip, who would you have?
Lossy Mount.
Okay, I probably would as well. Right. What's our thoughts? Don't send the balls flying. There's only 6 runners, so you could be here a while.
Number
4, July Flower.
Oh,
so yeah, well fancied for the Mares Hurdle, and let's see anyway. So that's it. Interesting one. Interesting thoughts. Yeah, I thought it was good reasoning. The Palmerstown House Estate Pat Taff Handicap Chase, a race we just mentioned a minute ago, of maybe Answer the Cape should have gone here. We will see. We don't know yet. But it's great to see good old Sam Brown, over 13 years of age, heading the weights, legend. Grandero Bello, a favourite of mine, but he's almost definitely gonna be a non-runner on this ground. And then a horse that we've been talking about for a good while, Battle It Out, back in the winner's enclosure last time out, much to our dismay, because he mugged off Folly Master in that race, and I was nearly close to backing him. Good old Canal End as well, who landed a few quid for us there in recent times. 17 runners deck. Where are you going here?
There's 2 I like, Andy, and I'm going to take 2. I'm going to be having such a good Friday and Saturday. I have money rolling down my legs that I'll back 2 of them here. Beachcomber. Austin's February coming here, quite fresh. Was 9 lengths, 6th off 125 of a hurdles at Punchestown last year. He's in here off 133. I think he has a chance. And then you mentioned him, our old friend, Canal End. Up £9 for the Navan win, but he's up in trip, and he needed every yard of that at Navan. I think it's going to bring out improvement. I'd be happy to take the 2 of them. Yeah,
Canal End is exactly where I went myself. I think he'd have a great chance now. My only query was possibly the ground, but he has won a maiden hurdle on yielding at Fairy House. I think that was at the Easter meeting. So I think he should be okay with it. Yeah, like his last 2 runs have been much more like it, haven't they? And he's still only a 7-year-old. He's well entitled to improve. My only worry was, did he spit the dummy out a little bit the last day and did the race fall apart? I'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
But the only thing is, he's gone and won. It's going to give him confidence.
Yeah.
It's going to give him confidence. He's, gone back to the yard. I won today. He might have learned how to win. Although he won the maiden hurdle. And now I think he's a great chance stepping up and tripping up with the £9.
Yeah, I think him and Battle It Out, 2 last time out winners for JP. I think they could be fighting out the finish here, but I am going to go with Canal in myself. Potential nap at the top material off 10 stone 5 for Mark Welch. If the machine draws number 11 here, you can have your life on it. We'll see. You'd have to take Deck's word for it if it is. Man. It's gone again, is it?
He's a non-runner. He didn't get in. That wasn't declared, but many runners we got.
That wasn't declared. We've got 17, but Will Do is a
non-runner. 18 it was.
18. He wasn't declared. But...
Jeez.
Number 9's a non-runner as we speak as well, just to let you know. Yeah.
No, didn't get in. No. No. You're messing there.
What numbers is he picking?
22. 22 again. 23.
Why'd you put it back in?
Oh, sorry. What have we got here? Number 8.
Number 8. Okay. I was hoping he's actually going to battle it out. The other McManus horse. That's ominous that we said that be battle it out to finish. You know what's going to happen? The bingo machine's going to mug us off and beat us ahead. I can guarantee it. That'll be interesting viewing. Right, the Ballymore Champion 4-year-old hurdle is next deck. We're nearly there. The guest is ready to lay on us tonight. We're north of an hour. Do you want to actually start with the guest? We'll see who he likes. I can hear you spinning there. 12 runners.
I'm just making sure.
You can throw the 20 and 22 and 23. You can probably leave them out for the rest.
No, I've left 23. I've had to put 22 back in as one of the bumper. The grade 1 juvenile Orlandi. To be honest, we knew nothing about them before the Triumph, and all we know is that
Poneros is a weapon.
Yeah, I don't see why he doesn't win again on what we see in the Cheltenham. I don't know anything about. Willie didn't know anything about this fella. He had to go. Tony Bloom's winning this race. Oh yeah, that's me. I trained this horse. I don't see why he doesn't win again. Do you?
Like I watched that Triumph back so many times, more so just because I found it so funny that Willie Mullins won a grade 1 with a debutant before he won a handicap chase at the Cheltenham Festival.
Yeah.
But this horse must be just like, you don't even have to watch the whole race back. Just take it from the top of the hill, see where the horse is, and like when I say he came down after the second last with snow on John Joe's cap, he was that high. Like he must have lost about 4 lengths at the second last, and John Joe just came home, and this horse must be like, he probably shaped more like a Stayers Hurdle horse in the future.
Yeah, but they often do Triumph winners, don't they?
Yeah, but this horse is so much bags of ability. Nicky Henderson's already put cold water over Lalamba if the ground's too quick. I'd say his participation is very much in doubt. So I'm going to say Poneros is 9-4. I'd be fairly sweet on him now. If he's learned from the Triumph Hurdle and you're at 9-4, God help us. He probably got to put on a show. So yeah, who does our guest like?
Yeah, the machine likes number 10.
Machine's a fan of number 10. Lumiere Delarge, another 100-1 shot for the machine. Kevin Sexton riding for Willie Mullins. That was 10th, beaten 37 lengths by Poneros, when sent off 200-1 for the Triumph Hurdle on stable debut for Willie Mullins. So the machine is trying to flex there on us again. You're a Poneros deck, yeah?
Yeah, I don't see why he doesn't win.
All right. Good to see Lawlers and Ace sponsoring another race. It's not a grade one this time. It's the final kind of big handicap of the week. It's a 2.5 mile handicap. Always a decent race, this. Look, the company sergeant was one I really fancied for the plate, and unfortunately he bumped into Jaguar. I did mention that Gavin Cromwell's horses might be a little bit below their best this week. So I have to avoid him, unfortunately. I found this race very, very difficult, to be honest with you, Deck. Who did you like?
I like Jazzy Matty. I thought he ran a fine race on soft at Fairy House last week. He's only beaten 4 lengths. Lord Escreen won it. Helvic Dream. Did Helvic Dream run well this week as well? Turned in.
That was a Fairy House, was it?
It was last week. Yeah, it was last week. Helvic Dream was second. But I thought he ran this week and turned in looking dangerous enough, and maybe maybe I'm making that up. But,
yeah, I'll look it up. Maybe you could be right.
Yeah, but back on good ground now. I'd like Jazzy Matty's chances here.
Okay, interesting. I'd give a little chance now to Jonathan Sweeney's Western Walk. I would have much rather the race be over 3 miles. But the good ground's going to. Sorry,
is that Countdown form?
It's not Countdown form. No, Western. I don't think so. Anyway, I could be wrong, but I don't think he was. I think this horse was injured and off when Countdown was doing his winning. A bit of both. But I think the good ground's going to really play to his strengths. And yeah, he ran well at the Punchestown Festival last year off 132 under Mikey O'Sullivan. He's off 134 here. There's £7 getting claimed off his back, but there's bits and pieces of his form that could give him an each way chance, I think. I do find this race, I'm probably not going to have a much of a punt. I would have initially gone for Raglan Road, who I thought ran a blinder in the Martin Pipe, but I'm still scarred off the back of how Waterford Whispers ran in this race after he ran the Martin Pipe last year. So that I just can't get that out of my head. So maybe a little bet on a Western Walk each way. Who's our guest on here, Deck?
Number 11, Adagrill. He obviously doesn't agree with you on Gavin Cromwell's form at the moment.
Yeah, he's mugged me off there again. Good for our guest. Nice horse, Adagrill, though.
Yeah, that's what he said.
That's very good. Well, we can get his thoughts on the final bumper, the Dar Golf Construction flat race over 2 miles. This is the 6 p.m. and look, we could be fighting for our lives here, Deck. We haven't had a winner by now, but I'm sure we have. We need it. Right. You might be pulling the stat book out on this one. This is a lot of these on debut, and some of them are 5 and 6 year olds that have never seen the track before. The one I thought was all right was Goliath the Berlay is a new sire he's a new sire in these shores.
He the winner of the Land Rover.
He the winner of the Land Rover, yeah. So it's only a game in there for Martin Brassel, who was a little bit unlucky not to win the Latouche this week with Desert Moor House. I wouldn't mind getting to have a look at these in the ring, but it's not going to be a race. I'd be waving my white flag here if I haven't had a winner by now. I don't think I'd be depending on the bumper.
Well, I'll tell you, we're all
charity race. Yeah, go on.
Number 11 again.
Number 11. We were number 11 for that was not batting it out's number. That was Canal End's number, and he's now after picking it twice in the 2 corresponding races after. So that's just for one who refused in a point-to-point on his only racecourse appearance for Daniel Murphy. So unless the machine knows something we don't, picking, it's not good if you refuse on your first, like if you're too clever for the game and you've never seen a racetrack in your life, that's not a good sign, you would have thought, but what do I know?
He does, however, like he also has an opinion on the charity race. Fair play. I wouldn't be playing enough, but what? No, he really fancies winning the charity race. You want to read out the title there, Andy, and good luck to everyone who rides in the charity race, and fair play to you.
Yeah, I loved a good old Jungle Cove and an absolute charity race stalwart these days for Jessie Harrington and her team. Yeah, go on. Who does he fancy in the charge race? Because I'm sure as hell not getting involved in that.
Number 3.
Number 3.
Due course, Gavin Cromwell.
He's definitely disagrees with me, Dan. Right, I'm going to get our guest nap here, Deck, right? And there's going to be a way I'm going to get the guest nap.
Right.
So we've covered 16 races, so spin it there between 1 and 16, will you?
You see what you're doing here. Right. 19. 16 races.
Yeah, 8 and 8.
5.
Right, 5. So we're going back to Friday. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So his nap is in the 6:05. That's the Champion Hurdle. So it has to be Final Demand. You can't roll it again. He's already picked.
Come here.
He's already picked.
He's not stupid.
He hasn't picked number 3.
He hasn't chanced sometime giving me 100 to 1 shot up for nap at the tap. No, Final Demand.
Right, so the bingo machine has napped Final Demand. Right, that's actually, in fairness to him, he's pulled it out of the works there. Our nap at the tap is going to, it has to be Canal End, Declan, doesn't it?
Yeah, I do fancy another one in it, but
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm severely worried though that, you know, I had it between Battle It Out and Canal End. The bingo machine goes Battle It Out and then proceeds to pick number 11 in the following 2 races. Just to put the icing on the cake.
It's been a good one.
Yeah, it's been a good one. And if I lose to an inanimate object, I might have to call it a day after 103 episodes. Any closing comments? You want Punchestown to end?
No, look, it's been a brilliant week so far, and I'm looking forward to tomorrow. I met so many people this week, so many people from Ireland who watch us, so many people who travel from Britain who watch us, and it's great to meet people. And the place is buzzing this week. The sun's been shining. Like even today when the sun wasn't shining, the atmosphere is still great. Credit to Punchestown for putting on a real show. It's been absolutely brilliant. Even though I've been probably punting a bit more than I normally would, maybe doing a bit of chasing and losing a lot more than I normally would, I've loved every minute of it so far. And thanks to everyone who has come and said hello. You know, even people coming up to George and being very, very friendly and, you know, chatting away. It's been a pleasure to chat to you all. And to Punchestown, like, it's been a pleasure to be there, and, you know, keep it up and keep trying to get the British horses over. It's really adding to the festival. And I'm looking forward to tomorrow and hope to chat to a few more people, and I'm going to have a few drinks tomorrow. I'm going to enjoy myself and let the hair down. So, yeah, it's just been a great week, and I hope I'll be buzzing tomorrow after I go through the card.
Very good. Yeah, no, I couldn't have said it better myself. That's when you go through the card. It's good to see the confidence is still high anyway. Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to the Saturday. I'll probably trying to get down there. And there's even one I'll pop up on Twitter, possibly the one I like at Newmarket in the 440 on Saturday as well. So if it goes to pot, we can, you know, get on the flat. Nothing like a 3-year-old 6 furlong sprint. I'll say it now, so darn hot at 440. Why not? If anyone has got this far into the podcast, they deserve to get another tip. Right, that brings us to an end of Tap 103. We'll be back with Tap 104 very soon. Could be a flat meeting. I might have to twist your arm.
Oh,
could be a flat meeting.
Arnie's in a couple of weeks, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. But until then, guys, thank you very much to Dec and, of course, our guest, the Bingo Machine. Some brilliant points there. So hopefully we have him on soon. We might be back by popular demand, we'll see. But until then, guys, thank you very much and bye.